Thank you. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and great to have you with us for that discussion. Make it interactive, ask questions, and looking forward to the next 30-minute discussion. So just one sentence about me. I'm working for the World Road Transport Organization, RIU, headquartered in Geneva, and I'm leading the certification and standard side of it.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Daniel. I'm the CEO of AI Driving Metaverse Group. But beside that, I'm also elected member of City Council of Ljubljana, and I am a member of Slovenia National Digitalization Council.
Amazing. Thanks.
Marhaba, everyone. I'm George Zakhem. I'm from Emirates Driving, Emirates Mobility. We are located in Abu Dhabi, and I'm Business Development Director.
Fantastic. Thank you for being here today. So I start, we only got 30 minutes and a long discussion to do, a lot of questions. I'm starting with the first question straight away. What the industry is doing for piloting a safe green mobility?
Thank you. Thank you, colleagues. Well, I think there are different pillars. And when we speak about the sustainability overall, clearly, when we look from commercial road transport, there are different aspects we need to consider. Efficiency. Efficiency is linked with what we are all looking at when we speak about business development, but also we need to think that in a bigger perspective, overall economic development. Efficient transport means development of the economies, means social development. And that links as well with the unfortunate externalities that we may face and that we need to address as well. I think we all here think about decarbonization, which is one of the challenge, road safety, which is another big challenge, and how we can today leverage artificial intelligence and data in order to address those challenges. And that's what we're looking at. So we have three main pillars that we work at. One is called our intelligence platform, which is really to provide the right information to the right people at the right time in the right place. The Green Compact, which is looking into how we optimize commercial road transport, making sure we get the right combination in order to decrease CO2 emission, but also decrease transportation costs. Because we know that every penny that we save on fuel or every percentage that we decrease on CO2 is the same saving in percentage in fuel cost. So we really have a win-win relationship. And there is a lot we can do already today. And the third one is obviously safety. And we will link it to the human aspect. Well, possibly one day we will witness autonomous vehicle on public infrastructure. I'm saying public infrastructure. It's not yet here today, and we still very much depends on the human factor. Yet the human factor is the main cause of accidents at 90%. So we need to find solutions, and those solutions should be backed by evidence-based information at which we can work in order to find the right solution and address the risk and the performance issues. So in a nutshell, these are the priorities we're looking at.
Amazing. I would add, in order to make impact, you need visibility. Now, what's happening is different stakeholders are taking different approach for same goal. So we have vehicle manufacturing building amazing and safer vehicles. We have road infrastructure providers like ITC, who is building safer and safer roads. Roads will start communicating to the vehicles. But then we are having technology as an AI who can assess the drivers, because let's be real, technology is proven, infrastructure is proven, and the liability or room for improvements are the drivers and what we know about them. So this is where we started 10 years ago. And the whole idea was to capture the human factor. Sounds easy, but trust me, it's not. It takes years of development because we are the most complex species on this planet. And we have empathy, we have prediction, we have awareness situations. So we finally managed to do that. And we provide to everyone, all stakeholders, the visibility. And this is our contribution, because with visibility, you can take action, you can take trainings, and this can create sustainable mobility and make safer roads.
Thank you. Actually, our strategy joined both vision, hopefully. In Emirates Driving, we are digitalizing our services. The digitalizing is for helping and using data in order to provide personalized solution and personalized training. In this context, you can see that in Abu Dhabi, I don't know who is from Abu Dhabi. Great. So in Abu Dhabi from 2001, the autonomous car is the examiner, the driver examiner. So the car give promptly the results if you fail or pass. So within this government strategy, we are working in establishing our test, the theory test to be done from home, the practical test to be also autonomously, and we are working in order to support our trainers and our experts with data and with tools in order to provide a special training, in order to provide a personalized training, taking into consideration the behavior of the driver. I don't know if you are aware that most of the people who would come to Abu Dhabi and the UAE and even in the region are coming to as a labor to work as a driver, and they are from different nationalities. It's above 80 nationalities are documented in our system. So we need to treat those people as individuals coming from different background, different education, different maybe society level, to treat them as individual and try to adapt what we are giving to them to what they understand and what they need. That's why our partnership both with IRU and with the lab in order to foster AI and to foster the technology that serve our human being and our resources to provide top-notch training. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Fantastic to hear that you actually managed to integrate that data use and infrastructure and the human side. Amazing. Well done. We are talking about data. So how do we use data to identify risk and then mitigate risk? Data to mitigate the risk.
Thank you. Very relevant. We know that nowadays, I mean, we are in so much changing environment that we need to adapt daily. Think about your degree and the relevance of your degree today. At least mine, I don't think it's the main asset when I'm, promoting myself. Certainly, what we are discovering and that we're learning day by day, and that we start to manage and that we have to replicate that's the value we create. But that's exactly where we come to the concept of skills profiling. Every job, every task today will require specific skills, and we need to be able to capture that information to provide the visibility and create the confidence that the person that will be managing a certain task will be able to do it. That's called risk management. And risk management in our industry creates safety. So we're moving beyond what we traditionally used to do and say, oh, well, we need to train the person. Well, training is still part of the equation in one way. So learning is still part of the equation in one way or another. But we are way beyond that. I think what we're looking at now is the outcome. How do we capture that information? How do we manage that information? And how we make sure that we can work with that information in order to make sure that if we relate it to human being, we can address the performance issue very precisely in the way it needs to be addressed.
And to work with data, you need to collect the data. So this was our main challenge 10 years ago. So what we did in the beginning was to put technology in a vehicle, and we would drive 10 years ago in Europe around and nothing would happen. So we would not collect any data. So we said, okay, we need to accelerate that. So we need simulated environment, simulator. So our first thought was, let's buy a simulator. But then we saw we will be limited. So we become a hardware builder, which we built cars, buses, trucks, any type of vehicle. And then we wanted to buy software, and then we would be limited. So we built the software by ourselves. So now you have a digital twin of UAE cities here and scenarios. And in simulation, we push drivers out of comfort zone that they become who they are. Every second, we are collecting more than 100 touch points, and we are creating world's first profile of the driver. And this is now the implication and lowering the risk for insurances. They get a profile of the driver so they can define the premiums. For example, for road infrastructure planners, they can build a road section in a simulated environment, take the simulator in community, take people through and see how they see, exit signs, marking, vegetation, and so on, before you actually build it. And for the fleets, what we are facing is every fleet has bottom 20% of the drivers who are causing delays, customer complaints, fines, maybe even accidents. But fleets don't know how to help them. So after the assessment, they can focus. And for the driving school, like Emirates Driving Company, now they are teaching humans, and we are talking, when we talk about partnership, with this data that is coming from simulation, they will be soon start teaching the machines how to drive on our road.
Yeah, please allow me, Christina. Before I will answer, both gentlemen are hiding something, okay? Mr. Patrick, when we are talking about data, can you tell us, please, about the data that you are generating currently from Roadmasters and how you are using those data? And for you, I need to know the competencies that you are collecting through the nerve system and how it is impacting. So this is data at the end, yes? So please, let's go to the data because the question is about data. Please, Mr. Patrick Philipp, if you can tell us about the data you are collecting and how it is helping, because I know how it is helping, and especially lately, maybe you cannot say it, but I will say it, that the program that you have conducted with ADNOC. And for you, I believe there is lots of collection that we need to tell tangibly how it is affecting the driver itself. Thank you. And I will answer. Okay.
Thank you. Well, as we say, the answer is in the data. And that's what we obviously need to capitalize on nowadays. Particularly, again, that we are referring to those changing behaviors. So what we do first is to make sure that we have a thorough understanding about, again, the skills that need to be monitored. And then we can work towards that data collection, which will then help provide the digital dashboards, as I was mentioning before. So the data collection is really based on very precise methodology that are looking into a holistic analysis on all the key skills that need to be demonstrated. And to be honest, skills profiling is something that we see more and more. We are not the only one working on skills profiling. You start to find it in hospital. Same. Why? Because obviously, with the intake of technology, with the rapid developments, you need to be able to manage those rapid changes. So you need to be able to have solutions to give you the confidence that the people that need to operate any device are really agile and they have the capacity. So you need to adapt those methodology on a very dynamic, in a very dynamic way. But that's the environment we're in. We're changing the methodology. We are changing the protocols on how we monitor the professional skills and collect that information, and that information that validates that a certain person in a certain situation is able to demonstrate that they can handle that solution efficiently and safely. And that's what we need to be able to recognize in order to be confident. The collection of that data is then reproduced on very visual digital dashboard that helps those in charge of health and safety look into the possible performance issue and take the corrective measures if they need to be taken. So that's the way the protocol or the methodology works.
So our data collection, like I mentioned a couple of times, starts years ago in partnership with universities like Stanford University, Virginia Tech, Columbia University, University of Surrey from UK, and University of Ljubljana. And the thing was that we collect the data from steering wheel, which is coming from Volkswagen concern, the pedals, the acceleration, like telematics pretty much. But we upgraded this with eye tracking technology coming from Tobii, with biometrical data collection watch, which has a medical certificate. And we built in a metaverse an environment where we built a lot of unusual, unpredictable situation on the road. So we push pretty much driver out of the comfort zone, becomes who they are, and it's feeding up 5 categories. One category is personality. You will not believe, but we see basically who is aggressive, who is defensive, the panicky in the real road situations. Then we see driving behavior, we see driving skill, we see understanding of road and rules compliance. This is basically going on the gender, age, nationality. We pretty much see which nationality drives best in the UAE. So it is a huge data stack. All data are stored here in UAE in Microsoft Azure. And we open AI to stakeholders who can then use this data for personalized training. Personalized training will be hybrid, will happen on real vehicle, real instructor like Emirate driving, but also can trigger from our AI library specific trainings that is needed. And to give you a little bit of flavor, we can see paying attention, alert driving, mitigation, on-road, smooth driving, more than 20 categories, which was not possible before. And this is perfect for driver recruitment, because you recruit quality, you have less headaches, but also, and for last one, also Dubai police is using this for black points. So if you have black points and they put you in a simulator and they see you're excellent, they need to tell you, slow down. Yeah. But if you're not excellent, then they put you for additional training. So just a joke.
Now I can answer, because you will understand my answer after their question. Okay. The first time in the world, and this is a dream of each road safety educational professional, to have a log for each student. Okay? This has never happened. It's a dream. Log mean you profile your student, okay, through the segmentation, different segmentation that they have. Then you move to measure his performance while learning his theory lessons online. Then accumulate this data, add it to the data from the theory online exam. Then move to measure his progress throughout the journey in the practical areas that we have. We have 32 lessons in 5 different areas. Then we'll collect through the teleoperation, we call it smart tower training. He will drive alone without a trainer, doing the same exercises. All this data is well collected till he reach his yard smart exam done by the car itself, by an autonomous car. Those data will enable us. Now, Mace and the team, my team, thank you for being here. Mustafa, everyone, Ahmed. The team is working on a project to measure the impact of the training through analyzing the outcome of the smart exam and the penalty happening on the road. And this type of matching between the learning protocols and progress and what happening on the road, where is Engineer Sumaya? We might help in reaching zero vision that the Emirates is targeted by 2040.
It's fantastic to hear. So if you don't know, I've worked 25 years as an engineer in Formula One and motorsport, and actually what we did with driver training, and we're trying to select the next F1 driver, is what you said, is profiling, acquiring data, putting on the simulator, see how they react, and then put them in the real car at the end. And also, I completely agree about methodology. Zach is adapting the methodology as technology evolves, is 100 data points. I think in 2007 we were getting 150 sensors in the car, so much more data points, but it was really hard to try to push the technology. So it's a fantastic thing we're doing, but congratulations. We're coming together for the greatest good, not just for entertainment and sport. So this is really good. One last quick, we only got 4 minutes left. Should we open the floor to the questions? Just the last question. So what are the potential benefits and challenges for personal learning, provide personal learning experience and skill assessment? If any.
Well, despite what we can see here, I think when we look at global level, and again, I really look at global level, not only in countries and places like we are here today. Democratization of such approach will still take time. We're intervening in all regions, and you can still see that there is still a journey to get full adoption. But again, we need to have places where we have the role models, and we will get to that democratization. We know that the access to technology will help. And will benefit everyone. But I think we also need to recognize that there is a certain journey that will take place. So I think the time element is important.
I would add that side effect of building a simulator is everybody love it. Simply everybody love it. But we need to tell them don't race, because we are doing your profile. But yeah, they love it. And also everyone is in, because we don't have time, for questions. You're all invited to Emirates Driving Booth. Simulator is there. You can race here. You're all invited. But the challenge is, I would just say, it's basically like every technology, it takes time. Also, Twitter didn't become famous immediately. It took them 7 years. Facebook 4 years. We are 2 years in UAE. And now it's taking off. And whoever is building a technology, either Metaverse, AI, just be consistent, be committed, and talk to as many as possible. And your idea will eventually take off. And this is what I say. I don't see challenges. I see opportunities. So we are open for partnership. Thank you.
Yes, challenges create opportunities. I love it. Within the trends that is coming on sustainability and safety related to drivers, and what you are seeing now, that I agree, it might need time to be on the road, but I believe the challenge for us, we need people to have less cars, so to use more public transport, to be more safe, and to cut on the emissions. And now all governments are working toward this goal. So the ownership of the car might decrease in the coming future. This is where we are focusing through our future foresight and risk mitigation and all the departments that we have on how to implement the current available technology, using the strengths we have and building on the future. And this is, I believe, we are proud that we are unique and we are providing something that really the UAE is proud of it. Thank you.
Thank you. And I always say the first step is always a challenge to start the journey, but you're already well advanced in the journey. So there are a number of opportunities coming after that. So really well done. Thanks, everybody. And then if you have any question, I think you can come and find us around later on.
Yeah, we are all at Enes driving stand. You can see us there for any question or any interaction. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, just if you take a seat, we've got some extra time, actually. If there are any questions from the audience, I think, if you don't mind, this is an opportunity for you. So if anyone has any questions for any of the panel members, please ask away, stand up. You, sir. So, yeah, we'll get a mic to you. So if you introduce yourself and direct the questions, that'd be great.
Omar. My question is to the whole panel. Patrick mentioned that whatever education he got long back is not relevant to his career right now. And the same goes for the driving education that all of us receive when we get the license. Now the data points that Daniel and George are talking about are based on new drivers who are actually getting trained to get the ability and the license to drive. Now my question is very simple. We are talking about data for safe, clean and efficient driving. About the vehicles and the machinery, I mean, the improvements are happening, emission controls are happening, vehicles are getting more greener. But the drivers who got trained 10, 15, 20 years ago, their practices are not changing. We saw in the floods last week, people had no idea about safe driving practices or even any driving practice in rain or flood. Now, my question to you is, in the absence of government regulations, to make it mandatory for the drivers who had license before to go through a professional, safe driving test like provided by IRU, how are you going to get that data to improve the driving practices and make the roads safe?
That is a really good question. And is it a challenge or an opportunity?
Well, thank you for that question. You're absolutely right. And again, now we speak about obsolescence of skills, which is very relevant. I think there are two solutions here. You're absolutely right. I mean, one what that was mentioned is that in many places, when people make too many offenses, they're sent to a place where they need to rejuvenate themselves. And that's the upskilling side. And demonstrate that they can deliver the behaviors that are expected. And that's happening on a regular place, and we are supporting that. And I think moving forward as well, actually the technology that is onboarded on the vehicle will be helping them, and that's where we link with the artificial intelligence, so that the vehicle themselves will inform the driver about what they need to do and how they need to change their behavior in order to become smarter, greener, and safer. And I think we're really at the pinpoint of that one. We speak a lot about ADAS, and we know now already that the vehicles are correcting themselves when you go a bit on the left or a bit on the right, or many other situations. And that would be the next stage. And we're really close to be there.
Maybe just quickly to add one thing. Today we focus more B2C, driving schools, but we work a lot with B2B. Because if you are, let's say, owner of a fleet and you have 1,000 professional drivers, what we saw working with many, many clients is that there is bottom 20% who are late, who are getting customer complaints, fines, involved in accidents, and you don't know how to help them. So those assessment tools can help. And then you basically upskill them and evaluate. Also, there are countries like, let's say, in Africa, where they have government funds for existing drivers and new drivers to find unemployment that we engage. And in Europe, there are mandatory for heavy truck driver to do each year a refreshment course. Now it's happening on public road. and this is not environmentally totally friendly, plus you're causing congestions. So there are debates that some hours on public roads will be replaced with hours in a simulator. Let's say half-half. And soon. So there is use cases and best practices are coming up all over the world. All stakeholders are aware of the challenges, but, it takes time and we need to work together to make this happen.
Nu'man, thank you for the question. IRU Academy provide CPC certification of professional competency globally through their ATI everywhere. And this is mandatory in Europe, as you said, and as Danielle said. It is not mandatory in the UAE because in the UAE system is different. There is a mandatory permit thing. But I totally agree. It's like everything. You need a continuous learning. If you don't, in your job, if you don't do continuous learning, you will not adapt on what is coming. The driver, this is his job. So we are providing an image driving now. The simulator, smart simulator with AI, will be available for client after they finish their driving license. If they want to be professional, to use the simulator from Danielle. The courses from IRU, it's available. We're happy, but ADNOC asked for this, big fleet companies. If we want to go to B2C, we are providing 4x4. We are providing for people who don't want to scratch their Harley after finishing motorcycle to come and scratch our Harley. Okay? So we are providing, but this is not mandatory. And to be honest, there is no big business out of it. Because, it's about culture. At the end, everyone is seeing road not as a professional thing, is seeing road as entertainment, because this is how we learn to see road, is seeing car as not a mode of transport, but a show off or whatever. So this is about culture. Here we need to work on changing the behavior. And this is something we are trying to do through our awareness campaign. But yes, I totally agree with you. This could be in the future. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. And thank you for that question. And thank you to the panel, Cristiana, for moderating beautifully. Gentlemen, thank you. Round of applause. George, Daniel, Patrick, Cristiana.